Hello everyone and welcome back to Beatley Tones Beatles channel. Lovely to have you here. Thanks for joining me for this video. Hope you're all doing well. It is Christmas Eve today and I wanted to do a Christmas message to you all. So that'll be coming up in the video in a bit. But I've also had a few requests. People have asked me to show the swag that we got as VIP ticket holders from paulmccartney.com at the O2 Arena. So I'll be showing that. I'll also be showing you the merch that I bought at the gig. And I've also had something through the post from the Lennon Estate, which was a bit of a surprise, but I'll show you that as well. Before we get on to that, just a couple of announcements. If you haven't seen Mary McCartney's recent Instagram posts, go over and have a look. She's very, very good at this sort of thing, and she's put videos together, lots of backstage videos of Paul and the band, and you go and watch it. You also some bits from the soundcheck as well. She's got some great footage of Paul and the band, sort of not really rehearsing, but Rusty's on an acoustic guitar and Paul's singing lead, and all the band are doing some beautiful harmonies for Let It Be and Hey Jude, and they also do Hey Hey We're the Monkeys as well. There's lots of other good footage of Paul with Ringo and Olivia and Barbara and Ronnie Wood, I think, as well. Definitely worth watching. Go and watch it if you haven't seen it. It's very good, and I think you'll enjoy it. The other thing that I wanted to let you know about, and I'm not sure if this only applies to UK people or whether it's across Europe as well, but Sky Arts in the UK, the channel Sky Arts, on Boxing Day are going to be airing the one hand clapping video, which is great because if you know one of those people that wasn't able to get to a cinema or theatre when the album came out, or when it went to cinemas and theatres, you can watch it. And also, if you haven't got the Band on the Run Archive Edition Deluxe box set, which has got a DVD of that, the one hand clapping video in it, you can now go and see it. So it's airing on Boxing Day. I think it's at 8 o'clock. It might be 9 o'clock. I'm not sure, but that the first showing of that is on Boxing Day. But if you're doing stuff with family or you haven't recorded it or whatever, Sky Arts, they tend to repeat things every sort of 5 or 6 weeks or something like that, so you will be able to catch up with it if you miss it. The other thing that we found out is that Paul McCartney releases a sort of a monthly newsletter on email called What's That You're Doing, and in that he says that his New Year's resolution for 2025 is to complete his new album. So we now know for sure that there is a Paul McCartney album coming, and of new material in 2025, so that is something to look forward to, providing that he completes his New Year's resolution, as most of us that never do, but maybe he's under a little bit more pressure to complete his when it's that particular one. So that's something to look forward to. Okay, so lots to get through, so let's get on with it. Okay, so when we got back from the O2, there was this envelope waiting for me, and you may recognise that as being the Great Seal of Newtopia stamp, which we've seen in previous videos. Inside it is kind of that shiny stuff that they used on the meditation mix, the foil thing that looks a bit like the sleeve on the meditation mixes. Inside it was this sticker, the QR code thing that takes you to the box set and the Atmos mixes and all that sort of thing. Also this postcard that was included in the deluxe box set with a message from Sean on the back. Also this, now I think this is something to do with the games element of the whole mind games experience, which is not something that I've really got involved with the games. I'm only here for the music, but there was this here. There's like three stickers here, and it says, "You are John Lennon, you are dreaming," and I'm not really quite sure what it's for. At the bottom it says escape to newtopia.com So it's something to do with that. There was two of those inside, and there was this postcard as well. I think it's like that. This postcard as well, which I don't think I've had from them before. And again, on the back, it says, "You are John Lennon, you are dreaming." And that was it. Nothing too exciting, but nice that they sent it to me. Nice to know that I'm still on their radar. So that was nice. Okay, so on to the swag that they handed out at the O2, and also, well, some of it came through the post. So they sent through the post first of all. Now, where are they? Where is everything? So that is your ticket for the gig. You also get like a kind of a replica ticket, as a keepsake as well, and it's kind of got all the dates on the back. And also this is for the that's the sound check pass as well. Nothing on the back for that. They just send that through the post, and also they sent a wristband for the sound check. I'm not really sure why, because no one, we put these on. No one ever looked at them, because they give you a wristband as you're queuing up to go into the sound check. But I think this pass here, it kind of when you go in there, they give you complimentary drinks and canapes and things like that while you're waiting to go into the into the sound check. So that stuff came through the post. But on the night, they gave us this sort of tote bag, which had some stuff inside it. It's a very nice tote bag. So that was the tote bag. Inside the tote bag was quite a few things, and I'll just show you this. They sent this. They gave us this very nice sort of travel bag or holder, or whatever you want to call it. Nothing on the back or anything, but Paul McCartney got back on the front, and it's a pretty good size, I think, and nothing on the back, but inside you've got that sort of cloud motif that they've used throughout from Paul's shirt thing. They've used it throughout the posters for Got Back, the whole Got Back tour. Now inside as well was this sort of bag, which looks a little bit like the bag that they sent out the dice in for McCartney 3 promotion. It says Paul McCartney Got Back on it, and inside of that there are two of these, and these are they're luggage labels. This bit sort of lifts up, and you put your luggage detail, your address details and name and all that in there, and that's to that little strip there is to attach it to your suitcase. But I'm kind of wondering whether I will ever use this, because it's kind of a double-edged sword, because on one hand you kind of want to use it. I want to show off I've got a Paul McCartney luggage label, but on the other hand you wouldn't want it to fall off or lose it or anything like that. And the other thing I thought about is, if you've got that attached to your suitcase, maybe the baggage handlers might think it's actually Paul McCartney's suitcase and nick it. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword, or triple-edged sword, if you like. So I'm not sure if I will ever dare to use it, but again, it's nice to have. They also gave you this, which is specific to the gig that you went to, and this is it's a fridge magnet. It's a fridge magnet, and you stick that on your fridge. That's nice as well. There's also this poster inside, and it says, it's a limited edition. It's mine is number 2138 out of 3,000. So I'm presuming that 3,000 is the number of VIP tickets that there were throughout the whole of the tour. So I might try and get a frame for that and stick it on the wall back there. I'll have to have a jig around to fit it in. The final thing was this sort of lanyard that they gave you as well. Paul McCartney Got Back there, and that is the other side of it. So that is all the swag that they gave you. They gave you as a VIP ticket holder. Now I'll show you the merch that I actually bought. So what I haven't got to show you here today is the Got Back hoodie that I bought, because it's now in the wash basket. But if you want to see it, you can see it in the video. I'm wearing it in the video that I did of my review of the gig, and I wore it for about 3 days. So I had to go. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. I had showers in between, but I wore it for about 3 days, and now it's in the wash basket. But if you want to look at it, you can go to that video. I mean, there were loads of t-shirts to buy. They were all very nice, but I just chose this one, which is not specifically a Got Back motif, but it's the pure McCartney thing. I really like that with the colour, the lighting on that, and on the back of that you've got the tour dates as well. I also bought a Wings keyring, which I did actually need, because I used to have a rubber sole keyring, but it broke. So now I've got a Wings keyring, which I really like. I think that's quite cool. So that was that. Finally, I got the tour book. The tour book was really expensive. It was 25 quid. And I've been to loads of gigs, and back in the 90s, you used to get a free tour book on your seat. I think for the Flowers in the Dirt tour and the New World tour in I think 1993. You got a free program. It was actually sat on your chair, but since then you've had to buy them. They've always been quite expensive, and usually just sort of just books of pictures. And I've never bought one before, but I'd seen people showing their tour books from other legs of the tour, and this has got a lot in it. So I thought I would get it this time, and I'm really glad to have it. I haven't read it yet, but I'll show you a few pages from it. But yeah, 25 quid, and there is information in there. There's interviews in here and stuff, but basically it's a bit of a catalogue of things that you can buy, really, and normally if you buy a catalogue from a shop of what the stuff they've got on sale, they're normally free. But there is a lot of stuff in here. There's a sort of an introduction there from Paul. I won't read it out, but you get kind of a list of all the tour dates there that are on the 3 legs of the Got Back tour, and that fabulous picture of Live and Let Die, and as I say, they have updated it. There is interviews with Paul in here. You've got the McCartney 1, 2, 3 box there, the Eyes of the Storm. So obviously the Eye of the Storm wasn't out for the first leg of the Got Back tour, the US leg. Neither was the singles box. So that's new stuff that is in it now. We've got Paul talking about the singles box there, and which is one of my favourite Beatles related box sets that I've got, if not the favourite. It's absolutely fantastic. So happy to have it. And then there's this here, which is actually it's got like a on the back, it's got like a, I don't know if you can see that, but it's got like a tear off strip. So you're supposed to remove this from the tour program and put it in your put it on your wall or whatever. And it sort of says, I'll show you what it says. It just says that on the back there. Okay, so that is that, and you've got an A to Z of Paul McCartney in there with some great pictures. It's got that is obviously updated as well, because it's got the band on the run, Half Speed Master in the picture there. So that wouldn't have been in leg 1 or leg 2 of that. Lots of stuff on this sort of this A to Z thing, and that Paul at Glastonbury, which wouldn't have been in the leg 1 tour book. Picture from Glastonbury there, which is great. I mean, this is all in colour, very good. A bit about the band, the fantastic band, and interestingly, at the O2, it was the first time that that Paul had actually, when he does his thank yous at the end of the show. It was the first time that he actually named everyone of the band. Normally he says my fantastic band, but this time he named them all, and they thoroughly deserve that because they are so important to this tour. Also, the Hot City Horns, those are the three members of the horn section. Something about the lyrics book. Another great picture there from Paul's perspective. Really good, and of course the thing we were all waiting for, the archive collection, the piece on the archive collection, and I can confirm that at the bottom of that it does say, you can see it there, it says keep an eye out for, what is it? I can't read it backwards. For news on the next release is, so release with brackets and an S in it, on paulmccartney.com. So it's a little bit ambiguous because next releases could mean anything, but the fact that it's on the archive page, I think we can assume that the book is talking about new releases of the archive collection. And some people would say, well, that's been in all the tour books going back to the US leg in 2022. But my theory is they've added things in the second leg book, and they've added things in this book, and so if they can add things, they can take things out as well, but they didn't. So fingers crossed it's still alive. A bit about Now and Then, that will be exclusive to this leg of the tour as well. And my good friend Annie Nichols, he said although he bought one when he went to the US leg of the tour, there was enough new stuff in this to make it worth his while buying it again. So that was the tour book. I think that's pretty much all I bought. So my Christmas message to you guys, it's been a great year. It's been a great year for us as Beatles fans. We've had lots of new product. I think if I'm going to nominate, my favourite product of the year, I would say it was the 6 CD Mind Games box set, which I thought was absolutely fantastic, top class. Followed hot on its heels by George Harrison's Living in the Material World box set, and also One Hand Clapping. I think they will be my top three picks from the year. But we've had other stuff, the Half Speed Master Band on the Run with the underdubbed mixes as well, and the US box set I thought was great. It wasn't for everyone, but I really enjoyed it, having not owned any of those albums before. And we had a couple of films, the Epstein film Midas Man and Beatles 64, neither of which I thought were very good. But we got them and we watched them anyway. And so it's been a really busy year for Beatles fans. But I thought that, I just also wanted to give you a bit of a health update because, lots of people have, in their comments, they said it's great to see you looking so well, and how you doing, and all this. A lot of people concerned about that, which is absolutely lovely. If you've joined the channel sort of after August, you may not know that back in November last year I broke my arm, and the outcome of that was that they tested for quite a rare blood cancer called multiple myeloma, which is fairly rare in the UK. Only about 24,000 people have got it, and it's as I say, it's a blood cancer, and it's not a curable cancer, but it is very, very treatable. So people, when I was diagnosed, I didn't say anything on the channel. I didn't think there was any need. I just carried on, just making my videos and, just getting on with it. But in August, I then had to go into hospital for something called a stem cell transplant. I won't go into the details of that, but basically stem cells are little baby blood cells, white blood cells, red blood cells, and platelets. And platelets are things that that fight off infection and stuff like that. So I had to have a transplant of that, and luckily my own stem cells were good enough to be used, because if they're not, if the disease has sort of taken more of a hold, then you have to get a donor, and that is firstly it's more difficult to get a donor, and it's a much more complicated procedure. But I did spend 3 weeks in hospital, and before I went into hospital I then had to sort of come clean and tell everyone what was going on, because I wasn't going to be making videos for 3 weeks, and when I came back I was going to be completely bald, which also needed explaining. Because during my treatment, I'd had 4 cycles of treatment, but the treatment that I was having is not the sort that makes your hair fall out. But when you go in for this stem cell transplant, they give you this very strong chemo drug called melphalan, and that does make your hair fall out. Although it was a little bit random, because it all fell out on my head and my beard and that, but I didn't lose my eyebrows or eyelashes or hairs on my arms or legs and stuff like that. So it was a little bit random, but I did come back bald. And then so when I did a video telling you what was going on with me, the response was unbelievable. I think I got something like about 500 comments on that video, with people very concerned and wishing me well, and I can't tell you how much that meant to me. It really did give me a boost. And the reason why I didn't say anything was because I didn't think that I needed to didn't say anything earlier, because I didn't think I needed to, and the fact that I was just carrying on doing my videos gave me this distraction. I knew a different focus, so I didn't have to think about cancer. But then I did have, I had to tell you, and I say the response was unbelievable. People were just so kind and so thoughtful, and it meant everything to me and gave me a real boost. I didn't ask anyone to do this, but people just off their own bat messaged me and wanted to donate to Myeloma UK, because Myeloma UK, because it's a rare cancer, it's not considered important enough, I suppose, to be funded by the main cancer charity, which is Cancer Research UK, because there are other cancers that are more serious, like lung cancer and breast cancer and stuff like that, cervical cancer, which they do fund. So multiple myeloma Research UK are self-funding, and they rely on donations. And people just just so kind. People that have never met me, people that weren't even in the UK donated, which was so kind, and that was such a a touching thing. But people are now, they're now saying, that it's good to see you looking well, and I am well. I am really well. I feel really good. I had a bone marrow biopsy a few weeks ago, and but they do that to check the state of the disease after the transplant, and it came back with a really good result, which showed, and I need to get this right, it's 0.023 of 1% of disease present. So that, if you look at that as a fraction, it's 23 hundredths of a percent. So it's very, very small. But my consultant said that he wants to get it down to 0, and he thinks that he could get it down to 0. So I'm now having 2 cycles of chemo. Each cycle is 4 weeks. And I'm now on week 5 of those 8 of those 8 sessions, and it's just basically injections in my stomach, which sounds horrendous, but it's not. You don't feel it at all. It's okay, and several tablets that stop it. One that stops it spreading. The others are kind of sort of antidotes to the chemo treatment, so you don't get too many side effects like sickness and blood clots and all that sort of stuff. So, and I'm getting nothing. I'm getting no symptoms at all, not even tiredness. So I am doing really well. I am. I do feel good. I've lost a little bit of weight, and I feel very good, and I'm very, very positive about the future. Now, when I finish these two these 2 cycles in 3 weeks, they'll give me another bone marrow biopsy and see whether it has gone down to 0. And if it has, then I will then go on what they call maintenance chemo, which I will have forever, and that will be pretty much the same treatment, but I'll only be having it once a month rather than every week. So that is good. But when we went to see the consultant this week, he was telling me about a new line of treatment. And there are already 4 or 5 lines of treatment, but obviously when you're having the treatment for a long time, eventually you become immune to it. And when you become immune to it, they've now got a new treatment, which is just one-off thing. Again, it's a thing that you go into hospital for. But when you come out, you don't have to have that maintenance treatment after it. When you have that is it. But that is. You have that when it becomes immune and the disease starts to come back. But they think that, because of the treatment that I'm on and having the stem cell transplant, the time that it takes for it to come back, I mean, it can vary. Obviously, every case is different. For some people, it might be 1 year. For some people, it might be 10 years before it comes back. But the median, the middle, the average is around 4 to 5 years. So I'm all right for now, but there are lines of treatment. If it does come back, there are other lines of treatment that I can have. It's all good. And of course, if it's 4 or 5 years down the line, then they would have come up with something else, bigger and better by then, because they are developing new treatments for this disease. All the time. So, I'm not going anywhere yet. So I'll just continue doing my stuff. But, I just basically wanted to thank everyone, not just then, not just back then, but just everyone who contributes to this channel. Even if you're not a commenter, if you don't comment, it doesn't matter. The fact that you're watching the videos and coming back and watching the videos, that counts as well. So just wanted to thank everyone for your support of this channel. It's been a great year for the channel. We hit 5,000 subscribers a month or so ago, which is unbelievable. It's really good, and the channel is still growing, and I'll still continue to make the content that I want to make, but and hope it's the stuff that you want to see. And I'm going to be so busy in 2025 with the channel. I've got a great big long list of videos that I want to make, and some of them are your suggestions. A few months ago, I think when I said we'd reached 5,000. I said if there's something that you specifically want me to do, then I'll, if I think it's got legs, I'll do it. And there were some few good suggestions, so I will be doing those as well. They will be coming up on the channel. I also like to, although we are, this is a Beatles channel, and the focus is Beatles centric, but sometimes I quite like to do, videos about other music that I like, because I've got a lot of records, I've got a lot of CDs and stuff, and a lot of bands that I like. So, occasionally, maybe once a month, depending if, where we are, I might do, videos about other bands that I really like the Fountains of Wayne or the Jam or the Who, or other bands that I really like. So I might slip those in from now and again. I know that from previous attempts to do stuff about other bands, they're not as popular with you guys as when I do the Beatles stuff. So it will mostly stay Beatles centric and solo Beatles centric on this channel. So that's kind of what's coming up. It's going to be, there's going to be a lot of new content in 2025. So stay tuned for that. So all in all, it's been a great year for us as Beatles fans. It's been a great year for the channel, but a bit of a shitty year for me personally. But you have helped with that in ways that you probably don't even realise. You've just really just kept me going, kept me going, and kept me busy, and that sort of thing. So I thank you right from the bottom of my heart for that. And you kind of, even though, with most of you I've never met, but you kind of get to know people through their comments. People that comment on every video, you kind of, get to know them, what they like, what they don't like. They tell you about you tell me about your Beatles journey and that sort of thing. And I try and remember, what people have told me in the past and where you're from and all that sort of stuff. And it's a friendship that you kind of develop through messaging without without actually knowing someone in person, which is it's very, very interesting. And I just want to talk briefly about social media in general, because social media has just become so toxic that I can't look at Twitter at the moment, because it is so vile. Everyone is hating everything, and I can't deal with it. It just depresses me, so I just stay away from it. But this on YouTube is different. It's different. This is the antidote to that. And as I say, I feel like I kind of know you through your comments and stuff like that. And it was great the other day, someone at the O2, where someone waved and smiled at me, and we didn't have time to chat because we were going in opposite directions. But he made himself known on the comments of the video from about the gig at the O2, and I guess that if someone that I don't know is waving at me and smiling, saying hello, then they are a subscriber, and that was the case. So it's a really interesting thing that there are other channels. There are other channels that that I subscribe to, where I've got really friendly with the creators on those channels. Briefly try and remember some of them. I won't remember them all, but my mate Bill Dave from Derby, Joe Mayo, Mr. Mayo channel, Matthew Street, obviously Andy and Tom from Two Legs, the Two Legs Paul McCartney podcast. Very good friends of mine that I consider to be very good friends of mine now, and Keir Smith from the From Me to You channel, Patricia, Little Beatles Corner, Larry Graves, Canadian Stump Muffin, Beatle Dustino, Rachel's Ghost, Dino V, who I met at the O2, lovely bloke, and Paul at Dinner with Greeno, a channel that I really love. And there's been a few new Beatles channels pop up this year that I like as well. Gwyn at the Revolver Beatles channel, Paul, Uncle Paul's Beatles Playhouse, and Mermaid Tavern, which is a great channel because it's just like popping into the pub for a pint and having a chat about the Beatles. And finally, Andrew Dixon, who was really instrumental in putting the Lennon Estate in touch with me, which I'm very, very grateful to him for. I've probably forgotten someone, but I am 63, so you'll forgive me for that, won't you? I think that, I've done stuff, you've done shows with some of these people, with Two Legs. I've been on their show lots of times, and Andy's been on this channel as well, and on the live stream. I've done stuff with Joe, done stuff with Larry, Ken Michaels, another one as well, and Kit O'Toole as well. I've done shows with them. Did I say Larry? I think I did say Larry. Did stuff with Larry as well, and these people, really great. And this, as I say, personally, it's been a shitty year, but it's been a great year for me on YouTube. And so it's a bit of a roller coaster, isn't it? Life is a roller coaster, as that, I can't remember who it was now, some boy band did that song. Don't bother to tell me about it down in the comments, because I really don't care who it was. People love to correct me when I get something wrong. It makes me laugh. They'll say it was 1964, not 1965. Which is a little bit annoying when that's the only thing they say about a video. But if someone gives a comment about a video and they they say, oh, you got something wrong, that is fine. I'm always happy to be corrected, but it's the only thing that they say about the video. It's a little bit annoying, but never mind. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter at the end of the day. But yeah, so it has been a bit of a roller coaster, but I just feel like the year has ended on a massive high for me personally. And Mrs. Beatley-Tone, who has been my absolute rock through all this shit that we've gone through this year. But we had a fantastic end to the year with our meetup in Liverpool, which was just amazing. We were only with everyone for 2 or 3 days, but who was there? There's Andy Nichols from the Two Legs podcast, and his girlfriend Heidi Hansberry. We just fell in love with them and had a fantastic time. Nick Syret from Kansas City, who I have met a couple of times and has become a very good friend of mine. Boyan Archer I met for the first time. He came all the way over from Melbourne, Australia. Joan Borelli, one of the Fans on the Run group. She's from Pennsylvania. And we just had the best time, and culminating in the McCartney gig at the O2, which was just fantastic with Ringo. So it really ended on a big high. But it's really funny because when you meet people from YouTube, you don't really know how it's going to go. I would imagine it's a bit like going on a blind date or meeting someone on a dating app or something like that. You don't know. You might get on with them, on screen or in text, but you never know what it's going to be like when you meet. But everyone was just so fantastic, and sort of, it was only 2 days, but I feel like it's friends for life, and it was just the most amazing experience. I kind of knew that I was really going to get on with Andy, and I knew that I got on with Nick, but you never know. I mean, Boyan Archer, he's a 21-year-old lad, and we've been texting, for quite a while. And when I was in hospital, he texted me nearly every day. Now that isn't normal, but in a good way. I think when I was that age, I wouldn't have that sort of consideration. I wouldn't have that consideration, for someone older. He is an amazing lad, and I love him to bits, and it was so great to meet him. And he came over with his mum and everything, and she said to me when I said goodbye to him, she said, "Thank you for looking after my boy." And I said, actually, I think it might have been the other way around. So these people are in my life now, and they probably always will be. Just a fantastic experience, and this is the good side of social media, and you guys are all part of that as well, because without you there is no channel. So I thank you for your engagement and your support for this channel from the bottom of my heart. That's pretty much it. So look, guys, I've got to go, but I just want to wish you all a very, very Merry Christmas. I hope you have a fantastic time, and a happy 2025 as well. I will be back before the new year, but this is sort of my Christmas message, and I also understand that Christmas is not a great time for everyone. If you've lost someone in the past over the Christmas period, then this brings back sad memories for you. Or if you're ill or whatever, or you're lonely, you're on your own. I really feel for you, and for you people that don't celebrate, because of circumstances or whatever. I hope the Christmas period passes quickly for you, and you get through it, and out the other side. But for those of you that do celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or whatever it is you celebrate, just have the best time, and I will see you all very soon. So thanks very much for watching. Thank you so much for your support of the channel, and I'll see you on the other side. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed it. Goodbye.